Well, the senior Conservative MP, Sir Charles Walker, has strongly criticised Matt Hancock's plan to impose 10-year prison service sentences on people who try to evade quarantine rules, calling it utterly ridiculous. And he's accused the government of robbing people of hope. I spoke to him earlier and began by asking why he's so furious.
Because we were told that vaccines were the way out of this. We were told when Christmas was cancelled, celebrate your Christmas at Easter. Bring your family together then because the vaccines will allow that. And a lot of people have been holding on through the long winter months, looking forward to that date in Easter. And what the Secretary of State for Transport has done by telling people not even to plan their domestic summer holidays is to suggest unwittingly, or wittingly, I don't know, that perhaps lockdown is going to extend from the spring into the summer and beyond. And that is a terribly irresponsible thing to do, a terribly, terribly irresponsible thing to do with a very stressed out and exhausted nation.
I mean, could it be that actually the irresponsible thing to do was to tell people that things were going to be okay? You know, and that actually Grant Shapps might be being responsible by telling people, readjust your settings, you know.
No, we can't go on like this. We've got a vaccine. We've got a vaccine with high efficacy. There will always be new variants of coronavirus. That's what coronaviruses do. They evolve, and this will happen year after year after year. The current situation is absolutely not sustainable. It's not sustainable for people's mental health and emotional well-being. It's not sustainable for business. It is not sustainable in any way at all. The government needs to have its feet held to the fire on this. Now, I hope that Grant Shapps was speaking out of turn. I hope it was a mistake. I hope the Prime Minister reins him in.
But I mean, isn't the real issue that the government's communications has been all over the place from day one, because they keep trying to offer us certainties when they don't have them and they don't know?
The government is running a deliberate programme to scare people witless. So you've got people who are now frightened to leave their homes in case they get this virus that, by the way, most people recover from. And with a vaccine, will be far less severe than it is now for many people.
So are you saying we need to learn to live with a certain amount of death through coronavirus?
Of course we do.
Because that's a hard thing for you to tell Grant Shapps today, isn't it, when his dad is in hospital?
Christian, my father died at 46. Didn't expect the world to stop for me. I was very sad. The world went on. If we're going to start citing our own personal situations as a reason for doing something or not, we're getting into very dangerous territory. This isn't about what happened to me. It's not about what's happening to everybody in the cabinet. It's about the fact that millions and millions of our constituents are under an enormous amount of stress. And what we've done now today is perhaps rob them of that hope that was keeping them going. I'm really sorry, but I'm not getting into this game where somehow a death from coronavirus is different from a death from cancer or a death from heart disease. We accept that 20-odd thousand people die from flu every year. We accept that 617,000 people die every year from old age, but somehow you're not allowed to die from coronavirus ever. We cannot cancel life to preserve every life.
What do you think about 10-year jail sentences for lying about where you've been on holiday?
Well, I think most people think it's utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. So we're going to cart off some 19-year-old to prison who's been a bit leery about a trip to Portugal. I mean, come on. Does
that kind of announcement actually then start undermining confidence in criminal justice?
I mean, it does make the Secretary of State for Health look ridiculous. I mean,